Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast. I am your host, author Nikki Nicole. Here I believe in winning together and creating a safe, supportive space for people to share their stories and start their healing journey. My passion is to help people confront hidden battles, embrace their truths, and take steps towards a more fulfilling life. Every episode is designed to break the silence on topics that often go unspoken, leading to conversations that uplift, inspire, and transform. Join me as we break the barriers and find strength through shared experiences, one story at a time. Hey everyone, and welcome to another powerful episode of Breaking the Silence. I am your host, author Nikki Nicole, and this is the platform where the light shines on incredible people who are doing great things and making a difference in the world. Together, we will uncover untold stories, break barriers, and challenge the norms to inspire change. So get ready to be inspired, learn, and join this movement as we break the silence on issues that matter the most and bring awareness to great people in the world. So let's dive into the episode today. The guest today is no stranger to me, guys. No stranger at all. I know her as VJ. When I saw her book and I said, I know that. I know you lying. That's her real name. I've always known her as VJ. VJ is so passionate about so many things. She's a creative with over 14 years of experience with blogging, photography, podcasting, and building a community of driven platforms. So she's also here recently the founder of which connects Black creatives for collaboration, inspiration, and growth. Yeah, she's amazing, right? So after her countdown, please welcome this amazing woman to the platform. Hey VJ, how you doing today?
Hey, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Something that I didn't say already because you wear so many hats.
Oh my goodness, before I even talk about me, I gotta go, but you were so good. Like Nikki, you are so good. And I'm like, oh my god, she make me sound amazing. Like,
Thank
look,
you.
anytime I'm coming right for you, like, girl, please help me with this. But shout out to you for all the amazing things that you do. I see it. I don't get to tune into every episode, but I see it. And you work so hard. You're so consistent. And I love that. I love that so much about you. But anyway, I can go on and on all day about you. But thank you for having me and allowing me to be a guest on your wonderful platform today. Guys, look, she already did a good job. I really can't think of nothing else, but my name is Vanecia. My friends, as you can see, call me BJ. So you guys are welcome to call me BJ as well. Any friend of Nikki is a friend of mine. So I'm just excited to be here today to spend a little time. It seems like whenever Nikki and I connect, we always have these explosive conversations. So I don't know what's in store for today, but my hope is that it holds true to that. I'm located in the Dallas, Texas area, so down south. And as Nikki mentioned, I wear a lot of hats and I love wearing a lot of hats. I used to not always lean into that because sometimes society tells, well, you need to pick. No, not everybody picks one thing. Some of us, we are multi-passionate, and it's just about channeling that. So everything that Nikki said is true.
So let's talk about this platform that you just created by Black Media World. Now, what inspired you to start it, and how did your passion for connecting Black creatives shape that mission?
Oh my goodness, it's all about community. And I think you know that already about me, Nikki. I just get so inspired and driven about others and seeing some of the amazing things that, other people are doing. It actually drives me and encourages me. And I think it does a lot of us. Sometimes we are not as vocal about it because it can be intimidating, or sometimes as creators we're a little bit private about what we're doing, and as we should be. Not everything needs to be given away, right? You've got some proprietary things going on over there that you got to keep close to you, but that doesn't mean that we cannot connect as a community. We cannot hold each other accountable. I think that there needs to be a little bit of accountability in this space amongst us, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you might see me doing stuff and you be like, "Girl, that don't look good for the culture." And there needs to be a safe space where we can have those conversations amongst ourselves. I do believe that the accountability piece, I think we need that in the community. So we need a safe space so we can bounce ideas off of each other. We can talk about things that we're seeing come out of the culture and the industry that maybe we need to start to scale back on, and just the space for us to grow together so that you don't have to feel like you're doing it alone, by yourself. So that's what inspired me to create blackmediaworld.com.
Nice. I think that's a great thing that you're doing. Coming together, especially as podcasters, it's hard out here. Sometimes as podcasters, creating and learning things, you have to constantly research in order to get it right. So, what challenges have you faced, when starting Black Media World? Did you have any issues with, people joining? How did that process work for you?
Oh yeah, so it's growing, so it's new. So there definitely is that kind of um, that effort that you got to put into to get people on board, because one, I like to be behind the scenes, and I'm just now really starting to put myself out there. And people are like, "Who are you? You want me to come over here?" So, and fortunately for me, I'm confident enough to know that I don't expect overnight results. So we
Mm.
want to grow consistently. We want to grow over time. So, yeah, it might be great if we wake up and have a ton of new members and people who want to be a part of it. But if there's a slow, steady growth of people who are really engaged, that's what I prefer anyway. Because again, it's all about community for me, and I don't want you to just come over there just to put your name on a list. I want you to come over and be active, and jump on some calls, and let's talk about some of the things that we're dealing with, those types of things.
Right. So now you do a lot of content. My thing with the way the world is now, with having to stay in their face, stay in their face, stay in their face, how do you keep repurposing and reinventing content to stay relevant?
Oh wow. So for me, I think on a more a level where you're actually doing it, I think you have to think about the platforms in which you want to be a part of. But I think sometimes we bite off more than we can chew as creators. We think we have to be everywhere all the time, and we don't. If is your jam, stick with YouTube. I'm not saying don't share the content to other platforms, but that's your focus. And that's the same with whatever else you decide to be, whether it's blogging or podcasting. Know where your lane is. If you think about it, there are billions and millions of people on every platform, and we think, "Oh, I got to go over here, I got to go over here."
Mhm.
Everybody's on the same platforms for the most part. Now your audience might be more active one place or another,
Mhm.
but you don't have to feel that pressure on yourself to be everywhere at once. So that's the first thing I think about when I'm repurposing content, like where should the main piece be anyway? And
Mm.
then secondly, it's just all about um, it's taking that same piece of content and molding it to another medium. Like, for instance, every podcast episode, it really can have an accompanying blog post to go with it, right? So then
Mm.
you're putting that blog post on your website in which you're talking about the podcast episodes to a certain extent, and then you're backlinking the podcast episode into the blog post, and it all kind of ties in together. So if you think of that one piece of main piece of content and how you can kind of like a tree, I think that we could make the job easier for ourselves when we approach it from that way, from that
I
standpoint.
never looked at it that way, but you know what? I got overwhelmed at one point because I was like, okay, my audience is really on Facebook. Like my Arthur Nikki Nicole page is like my biggest audience, but I have the Breaking the Silence page too that I want to build too. But my main content is on YouTube. So at one point, I was just like, you know what? I was scheduling stuff on every single platform for a while, like really focusing on staying in everybody's face instead of just focusing on YouTube. That's where
Mm.
my main content, that's what everything is at. So that makes sense. That makes sense. But you still have to put the traffic out there, BJ, because you got to get people to come over there because YouTube is hard to, build to a degree.
Yeah, I think YouTube is, but I think YouTube is one of those things. If you, what's the saying? Say, if you build it, they will come. You just, you have to keep putting your content out there. And I'm a person that believes that there is an audience for pretty much everything. You just gotta figure out how to speak to your audience. So what resonates best with them. So say for instance, like in the example you use, you're on YouTube. That's great. That's my jam where I hang out the most at. And if I'm not seeing the traction that I want on YouTube, because the people are there, the type of people that you want, they are probably there, but maybe something in, not saying you in particular, but maybe something in your messaging or my messaging is not, getting YouTube to push that out just yet. So I'm a big proponent of, when you don't see the results you want, don't change everything. Like don't do that, but change one variable at a time. Give that a little time to see how it works, and then give it a chance for results. If that doesn't work, change another variable, but one little piece at a time. And then you also think about the intent of what people are looking for on each platform. Most times when people, and you've heard this before, when people on Facebook, we're just looking for like entertainment for the most part, right?
Mhm.
So if that's your goal, is just to entertain, it might not be a bad idea to kind of prioritize Facebook and maybe YouTube a little bit more. But if you're looking to teach and you're looking to do other things, you might want to consider a different platform, because when I get on Facebook, that's when I'm in the bed and I'm getting ready to wind down. I might get on it in the daytime a little bit, but just think about the intent and how you use social media, not how you
Mm.
as a creator use social media, but
Mhm.
how you as a user uses social media, and kind of mirror that with your intentions for your audience.
That makes sense, because it's trial and everything you do is trial and error.
Oh
It's trial
yeah.
and error. You got to keep trying because right now I'm fighting with time of day. When to
Mm,
post the episode? What is the best time to get viewers? 2 o'clock wasn't it? I tried 2 o'clock, ain't nobody showed up. Tried 4 o'clock. Now I'm getting ready to try 5 o'clock. But this is on Facebook though. It's trying
yeah.
to, drop it over there. The episodes over there on the Breaking the Silence page and still dropping it on YouTube, but it's trying to find the right time. So it's trial and error with everything you do,
So
BJ.
let me ask you this, and you're right. I agree with you. When's the last time you asked your audience, what do
Mm,
they want? What's a good time? When do you tune in? You
last
know,
last year.
well, it might be time for a new, a new,
Hmm.
a new questionnaire, and just doesn't even have to be a questionnaire. But I think sometimes we forget to check in and ask, those questions. And people will tell you, they'll probably be like, hey, I like to listen to your stuff on Fridays after work. Who
Mm,
knows what they'll say. But don't forget about that piece of actually just asking.
that might actually work. To be honest, that might actually work. I was just thinking about doing a guest form, but I wasn't going to include that piece. I was just going to ask them what they would like to see. But that's a good
Ask them
question.
all of that. Why you got their attention? If you're gonna do like a form, why not? I mean, I probably wouldn't
Mhm.
put 50 questions on it, which I know
Oh
you
no.
won't, but yeah. I'm
So
done at 5. You can get a good
okay,
5 out of me.
that's it. Mike, you might get a 4 out of me. So the people want to know, how do you balance all of these things that you do, blogging, photography, podcasting, and still be able to sell in all of them at the same time?
So it is something like you mentioned a minute ago, trial and error, but it comes down to what do you want to do the most? What are you most passionate about? Or, what's your biggest goal? And you have to think about, so I'm going to back up just a step. I I learned that I really love creating things. Now, that might not mean that I'm going to be around for the whole entire duration of it. Like, even for Black Media, where I love the creating it, but if I get connected with some amazing people who feel like they can grow it and expand upon it better than me, hey, I would love that because I'm good at creating things. I might not be the most amazing marketer in the world. So I think sometimes we have to take inventory of what we're good at, what our gifts are, and kind of use that to guide how we prioritize the things in our life. So to answer your question, I do that. And I also try to like write things down. Like, okay, say for instance, we just use the YouTube example. That's where a lot of my focus is right now, is growing like my influencer YouTube. I really like doing that. So I know I want to spend so many hours a week on that. So I have a little program in my iPad and in my phone, and I jot down the ideas, and then I decide which of those ideas I want to execute. And then I know, okay, you know what, Black Media World, I love Black Media World. We're gonna get this on and popping. This is the minimum amount of time I need to invest in that every week. So say that's 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever I've decided. I already kind of have the ideas, and it's just about pushing that out. So you have to take inventory, realize how many hours in the week you have realistically. I think in our mind, we think 24 hours a day. Okay, that means I got 16. No, you ain't got 16 hours,
You got stuff,
because when
a
them
lot of stuff.
kids start, when
Yep.
families start, you might have 4, maybe 6, so break it down. I'm not a person that breaks things down to the minute. I could never do that. I would never stick to that. But I do like to kind of task base and say, okay, this, and this you need to do.
So a person like me, I have a lot of a lot of gifts and hats too. So that's what I want to know that too. Like I'm over here, like, okay, well, I need to do my episodes, get my episodes out of the way, and then I can focus on this, and then I can focus on that. I can write a book maybe in a month, and then I can move on to this. So it's hard to have so many gifts and try to
Yeah.
juggle them and try to figure out, okay, which one is going to be your gift that you can stick with
Yeah.
and
And
still
I
try to
think
make money.
one thing for me also was learning to batch content, that for a content purpose, even when I start, when I'm a guest somewhere, of course, I've got to do what they want me to do. But if I can have guests, and when I do that, I like to kind of batch those when I can, record them all at the same time, edited them all in a certain window, and then schedule when it goes out. And I think you already kind of do that to a certain
Yeah.
extent, but there's a lot of ways that we can batch content that we don't always think about. So that's crucial to, regaining your time,
Yes,
you know?
yes, yes. And see, now with me having a newborn in the world, my time is so valuable now to the point
Mhm.
where I'm really thinking about what I'm doing at all times around her. So it's different. Like you said, when you get kids and you get married and you got all these things, you might have 2 hours. You talking about 4. I'd be glad to have two at the
Mm,
end.
yeah. And
So
it's crazy because you have to like factor all of that in. And, as creators, I think sometimes if we're not careful, we can easily go with no days off when you think
easily,
about it.
I've done it.
Easily. I know you have. That's why I
I'm
was
doing
actually
better this
talking
year.
about you.
I'm doing better this year now, BJ. I'm doing better. That baby put
Yeah,
me in check.
I know. But
Oh
it's so
man.
worth it though.
It's worth it, but it does. I think people don't realize when you're podcasting, it's a lot behind the mic before you get behind the
Hmm.
mic to do what you need to do. You have a lot to put in. Sometimes, like last year, I was looking at my numbers and I was like, I recorded almost 600 shows. Like I did
Oh,
not think I was just moving. Gotta record, gotta record. So sometimes you just don't stop. Like you said, you just don't stop. You just keep
you
moving.
are a machine and you've got, a really good system. And, I know you probably think of, okay, how can I make it even better? But, just stop and pat yourself on the back for how far you come along too. 600 episodes?
That was a lot.
What?
That was a lot. I
What?
had that many people booked. That was crazy.
Yes.
I
My
was like, ain't no
goodness.
way I did that.
You did. You did.
Whew. Child. So what do you role do you think that digital platforms like, TikTok, Instagram, all these different platforms that we have, what role do you think they play in empowering and amplifying voices of the unrepresented people, creatives, especially in the Black community?
So I think that they are tools, and is the platform itself has the rules of, how they want you to use their platform. Maybe this might be censored, this is not allowed, but aside from that, it's an opportunity. And it kind of goes back to why one of the words I threw out when I was talking about Black media world and the culture, the accountability piece. You have rules, but you really don't have any accountability. So
Right.
I can get on TikTok or YouTube right now and start airing out all of my grievances. I'm using an example. I'm not saying I do this, but it seems like there's always an ongoing conversation about Black relationships. Black men
Mhm.
need to start doing this. Black women need to be doing that. And sometimes the conversation is so reckless and so just and it's like, who is allowing these people to put this out there? So that when I say accountability, I know what everybody's gonna say. It's free speech. You can say what you want to say. You can, but I
Can.
do feel like as a unit, we got to sometimes, like, be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves and say, you know what, girl, it is free speech. You can say what you want to say, but do you realize you represent a whole generation? You represent a whole, whatever it is that you represent. So the platform itself is just a tool, just like anything else. Again, I'm not going to get into this. I know people have different opinions about it, but it's just like a gun. You know how some people say, no, guns don't kill people. People with
People
guns
do.
kill people. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a tool. It's what are you going to do with it?
So what are you gonna do to make your platform stand out from everybody else? Having all this competition out here. What are you doing on your platform to make you stand out to bring people in?
Yeah, so mine's is community based. So it's never, the dream isn't for Black media world to be anything like, oh, TikTok or anything like that. It's
Mm,
a space for us to talk about what's going on in the digital media world. For our culture, it's a place
okay.
for us to come together and try to work through things that we want to work through, to celebrate wins together, and also to be kind of like a directory. So maybe when you want to, see what other podcasters in your area that maybe talk about something different, but you want to connect with them, I want that directory to grow so that you can go to Black media world and put in, food TikTokers or food, reviewers, and you can find somebody that, kind of sort of vetted, and you can say, you know what, I'm going to reach out to this person. So to connect us and keep us together. That's the
Nice.
goal for Black media world.
I love it. I love it. So it's been a great conversation, VJ. We're down to the last question.
Okay.
If you could change one thing about the way the creative industry, perceives things and supports the black creatives, what change would you make and why?
Oh, that is a good question. Look, you should have sent that one to me ahead of time because,
I like to do y'all at the last question. I like to do that.
oh, wow. So I'm going to think about this for a second. The thing that I think I would change is just what representation looks like. I think that there are so many faces to this. There are so many faces to um, the culture. There are
Mhm.
so many faces to what success looks like. There are so many faces to what a family looks like. There are
Yes.
so many faces to um, what financial stability looks like. Like it's so many faces to that. So I think it's important and kind of incumbent upon us to, as creators, to show those different faces in a positive way and say, like, I'll use myself for an example. Yeah, maybe a traditional family looks like a husband and a wife that get married before they have children or whatever. And in most cases, that's ideal. I do believe that, kids need two parents, However, just because mine didn't look like that doesn't mean my family is not a success.
Right,
I
right.
can show you that, hey, we're doing it. Um, Also, it might be education. We're learning a lot now. My generation, we felt like we had to go to college. Um, that's what I learned.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I regret it. Um, I just didn't want my kids to have that same experience of feeling
Mm.
like they had to go to college because, yeah, I went and I finished, but I got a big bill to to
Me too.
consider. Look, whew. So to answer your question, I just think we need to really start like being open to the conversation of what how things look from different perspectives. I'm going to see if this example can help to drive the point home because I feel like I'm kind of stumbling on it a little bit. Um, I make content sometimes about like handbags and kind of luxury goods because I like occasionally an expensive handbag. It might not be expensive to some, but to me it is. And what I've noticed in that space is people have started to say that, well, if you buy this handbag that has, LV or Coach or whatever, monogram and names all over it, then that's what poor people do. That's what um that's not what rich people do.
Mm.
And in my opinion, that's very classist because that's you're calling us ghetto. If you're saying if someone decides to spend their money on something that looks a certain way, you think is ghetto. So really it's driving us, the culture, back to say, okay, well, now I don't want to buy that because if I buy it, yeah, I spent a lot of money on it, but people will think I'm trying to look rich and I'm really broke. Just get what the heck
Mm.
you like.
That's
Just
true.
get what the heck you like.
Right.
And we need to get people to understand, to hell with what people think about how you're living your life, what you're spending your money on. Are you financially stable? Do you have a plan? Do you have some? That's what the question needs to be. Not, yeah. So that's what I think we need to. We need to start thinking about our messaging for things like that. Like some of this stuff is just dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of craziness going on out here now in this world. It's a lot.
Yeah. I
So
just sit
now,
and watch and I'm like, oh goodness.
yeah, that's all you can do is just sit and watch. Don't join them now. Don't join them.
Oh no, no, no.
All right. So this is the time I call the BTS 30 Seconds of Fame. So I'm gonna do your countdown again, and I'm gonna bring you back on. I tell everybody, don't freak out. You're gonna be up here by yourself. I'm not gonna be up there. This is your time to shine, to let everybody know how to follow your journey, how to join Black Media World, whatever you want to tell them about you to get you to the next level. This is your moment. Also, I want you to give some advice to someone out there that's trying to be a creative, content creator, and trying to, just start. Give them some advice on the start. So after your countdown, the platform is yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Vanecia, but you can call me VJ. Thank you for having me on the Breaking the Silence platform. Look, guys, I am the founder of blackmediaworld.com. It is a website, a blog, a platform, whatever you want to call, that's intended to connect us creators of the culture. Okay, so check out blackmediaworld.com, and if you want to see a little bit more of my fun work, you can head over to YouTube at Hey Vanecia. That's HeyVanecia, and you can find me there as well. Look, if you are a content creator or you're thinking about getting started as a content creator, maybe you don't have all of the questions answered or you don't know all of the process, my advice to you is just get started. Don't delay, because I promise you, in 6 months from now, in a year from now, you would have just wished that you would have just started. Nothing's going to be perfect until you get started. Okay. You don't need all this equipment. You don't need all these resources and all these different pieces of software. Pull out your phone and get started. Whether it's video, whether it's photography, even if it's podcasting, you can do it all from this. Okay. So in 2025, I don't want to hear any excuses. So get started. I promise you, you won't regret it. The sooner, the better. Thanks again for having me, guys. I love you. Check me out on either Black Media World or YouTube. Have a great day.
Thanks, VJ, for accepting my invitation to come be a guest. You gave some good advice. You know what? I did not know that you could podcast with your phone.
You wouldn't do it. Of course you wouldn't, because you so
If I'd have known it, I would have started. That was a start, though. I wouldn't plan for a whole year. I would have started with my phone.
you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone because I'm so proud of you, and I know you work hard, and I don't want to diminish that by saying you should have started with your phone, but other people can. I've recorded some stuff with my phone. I have my what do you call this? My Rode mic. I can plug this into my cell phone and record. So,
What?
but it's all good. My mama
Wow.
used to say
See,
it's more than one way to skin a cat.
there you go. There you go. But you know what? I take pictures with my phone now. Like I have a camera, but the Nikon, but I take it with my phone. They take better pictures. My phone will take better pictures than the camera sometimes.
You
So
got to use the tools that are most familiar to you. That's what's gonna work best.
I learned
Mhm.
that. I learned that at the latter part of the year, last year. I was like, oh wow, my phone could do a whole lot of things that I didn't know it could do. So
I'm a
yeah,
photographer and I still use my phone for a lot of stuff. Why not? Hmm.
it gets some good shots, especially if it's the iPhone. I ain't gonna. We ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna start the
Yeah,
Android user group.
we're not going.
They gonna get mad. I ain't gonna do
My
that.
husband go come in here. What are you talking about, Leandra? Look, man, sit down.
I ain't gonna do that to them day. But thank you so much, BJ, for
Thank you.
coming and joining me and having this conversation. Allow me to shine the light on you. We'll be in touch on the other side.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Bye
And thank you
bye.
so much to everyone else out there that's tuning into this amazing episode. I hope y'all learned something about content creating, because listen, it's hard. It's hard out there to create. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Breaking the Silence. Remember, the courage to share your truth is the first step towards your healing. And every story we tell brings us closer to understanding, growth, and change. So if today's episode has resonated with you in any type of way, share it with someone that needs it. And let's keep breaking the silence together. So until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and always speak your truth.
Hi, my name is Kemi Amos. I'm a singer-songwriter. I was just on the Breaking the Silence podcast with Nikki. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was such a beautiful experience. I had so much fun talking, and the way she asked me the questions, I was ranting on and on and on, and she let me do my ranting. It was so good. I was so chill, so relaxed. Guys, tune in to Breaking the Silence with Nikki. All you need is breaking the silence with Nikki. All you need is breaking the silence with Nikki. Tune in, guys. Tune in to Breaking the Silence with Nikki. Love you.
Thanks for watching another episode of Breaking the Silence. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.